Hey guy,
What?
do you like PlayStation 1 games?
Yeah.
Do you like penguins?
I love them.
Do you like prinnies?
Who doesn't love pennies?
No, do you like prinnies?
What?
Then you're gonna love Prinnies 1 and 2 from NIS, boy!
Hey, what's going on, guys? So, NIS America hooked it up once again. They gave me a preview code for Prinny 1 and 2 Exploded and Reloaded on Nintendo Switch. This game comes out October 13th, and I'm going to tell you what, I've been playing it for the last week. Well, I've been playing them for the last week. It's actually 2 games, and they are awesome. I missed these on the PSP, but totally has PS1 vibes. Man, they are extremely fun to play. There's a little bit of aggravation as far as difficulty in some ways, but you know, let's go ahead and jump into what these games are all about. So the 2 Prinny games take place in the Disgaea universe, which is a series of strategy RPGs that I personally have never played, but all the characters come from those, and that's the world that this game takes place in. You play as the titular Prinny, which is kind of a person in a penguin suit who is highly explosive. Apparently, any small touch will make these characters blow up, so to prevent this, the character Etna puts a scarf on you so you can take 3 hits on the easier difficulties, less on harder difficulties, and sets you off on a quest. You see, Etna is the demon lord, and apparently someone has stolen her ultimate dessert, and your goal is to get all the ingredients to create said dessert to sate her hunger. Now, she is extremely violent and does not care for you or the other Prinnies, so basically you and your army of Prinny brethren have to go through and get all of these desserts through playing platforming levels. This is where the game gets interesting. You don't really have lives as much as you have Prinnies you're carving your way through, so I guess in a sense you do have lives, but that being the case, you basically start the game with 999 lives, one representing every Prinny, I guess, that exists in existence of this universe. And as they die, your count goes down, but I'm assuming you definitely don't want these guys to kind of eat it. But eat it they shall. I'm telling you, here in the first game, the difficulty spike is outrageous. The training levels and the first couple levels are fine, kind of letting you get your bearings, put your feet on the ground, but holy crap, it just like ramps up to 11 instantly. Before we jump into that though, let's discuss the movement of your character. Now, any good platformer needs tight controls, and this game suffers from one extremely bad choice, and that is what I like to call the Super Ghouls and Ghosts jump. Yes, you have a double jump. Double jumps are great in platformers, but unless you have already dedicated a directional push, you are just going straight up and down. I mean, really the only way I can describe this without really explaining anything else is, as I said earlier, the Super Ghouls and Ghosts kind of jump. Where, you know, you press jump and you just go up and down, and if you want that direction, you have to already be pushing that direction to go with. This makes platforming extremely, extremely difficult, and also does not let you control you land very well. I can't tell you how many deaths I died, just because they decided to utilize this jumping mechanic over other jumping mechanics. But now that we got some of the bad out of the way, let's talk about the cool stuff. Now, this game's pretty simple. Being the first one in the series, they expand on it in the second one, which we'll get to later. But you have a slash attack with these 2 gigantic serrated combat knives. But other than that, you also have this ability to basically ground pound. Think like Mario 64, or maybe you know, Yoshi in Super Mario World 2. But you ground pound to stun enemies, and now when you stun an enemy, you can basically just wail on them and utterly obliterate them. Later on, this ability is something you absolutely have to do to win any boss fight. The bosses have a couple of like skull meters on, or I don't know what you want to call it, but basically, unless you break their guard, you're going to be doing chip damage at best. So the goal is, in the boss fights anyway, to ground pound them, break their guard, and then just wail on them non-stop. One other ability I really want to point out though is when you attack in the air, it does this awesome like 2.5D like PS1 style like camera rotation, and then you just like launch a flurry of blades down to the ground. It's very cool, very impressive looking, does decent damage. The only downside I would give is the angle is very specific. So when you do this move, you really got to make sure you're lined up right, and as I kind of said before, with the jumping mechanic, that's not always as easy as it sounds, but I'm telling you, it is like really impressive. When I first did it, I was like, what? It was super cool move. Also, a weird thing in this game, you have like this spin ability where you can spin to deflect or dodge attacks, and then if you push a direction afterwards, you can dash and run, which is cool. The risk reward of this being if you spin for too long, you'll become dizzy and become incredibly vulnerable. But I don't even understand why you would ever choose the running part of this, because when you run, you're entirely vulnerable. I mean, you just like are completely open to all attacks, and you can jump, I guess, but you can't attack yourself, so it seems kind of pointless. I have not found a jump yet that required me to do the run, so I mean, I don't know why they added it in, but you know, that is another kind of weird thing that you can do as Prinny. They also have this combo meter. Now the combo meter is basically built up by you slamming someone to stun them and then attacking. It's, in my opinion, too hard to fill. It's when you do regular attacks, the combo meter does not really fill up, so it really relies on you doing a whole lot of platform jumping, which, as I said earlier, is extremely hard to do in this game. But as you start smashing the enemies, your combo meter fills, and as the meter fills, then you get items. Mostly it's just for points, but every so often it seems kind of random. You will get the ability to get another scarf, which is basically another free hit, which those are nice to do, but I'm telling you, in this game anyway, it is way too hard to fill this combo meter. Throughout the levels, you basically make your way through, and as you go along, you see these weird kind of like smiling skull things on the ground. If you butt slam them, it will fill up your combo meter, giving you whatever item you were about to get, but also they act as checkpoints, so every time from then on when you die, you'll jump back to there. Pretty convenient, especially because you have 999 lives, but when I started this game, I was really confused. I was like, how come I have 999 lives? Because I'm telling you, after you beat the 2 tutorial levels, you get the first 2 levels, and they are not that bad. I think I lost like maybe, I don't know, 4 lives in between both of them, and they were literally all due to me having bad platforming and jumping like purposefully down a cliff. But yeah, I quickly realized why the heck they have given you 999 lives. And that is the difficulty spike I talked about. Holy crap. I mean, like, I couldn't even beat this level for this video. I just wanted to, like, kind of get some game footage of a level, because I'd already beaten the easy ones. So I was like, let me just go back, capture some footage. What's this, a beach level? Yeah, easy peasy. Nope. I mean, you just keep falling in the water over and over and over again. If you're not jumping in the water of your own volition, you're getting knocked in the water by some horrible enemy. The difficulty spike is absolutely brutal. This is a very fun game, but I mean, I am telling you, it is brutal as hell. I will say this though, I'm getting better at it, if that makes sense. I guess like after beating my head against the wall for hours trying to beat that level, I went to a different hard level and made my way through that, of course burning another 20 lives or so. But I'm getting better and better, and I guess that's the whole goal of this game, is like, this is one of those hard as nails, old school platformers. Like I said, you know, it's definitely different in today's day and age. It's kind of getting back to that PS1 vibe. But that being said, let's see how they change things up in the second one, which is also included in this collection. Let's go ahead and get the elephant in the room out of the way first. The plot for the second game is the most cringy thing ever. Apparently in this game, you once again have to get something that was stolen from Edna, and in this game, it's her underwear. Like, I get it, I know the whole thing is just a frame to get you to play through different levels, but they could have done something different. This is just, like, weird, and I don't know, I just think it's very strange, but hey, you know, that just gets us playing into the game, I guess. Now, the secondary plot to the plot is kind of crazy. Apparently, the person who stole her, undergarments is someone who's stealing rare things, so the whole point in you playing different levels in this game rather than get ingredients like the last game is you're trying to collect rare things to lure out this person to try to get them and beat them up to get back Edna's missing goods. So a lot of the stuff from the last game does return in this game, including the horrible jump controls, but they've actually added some other quality of life things that are pretty great. I'm not gonna lie, I put this on easy mode because I wanted to get some game capture and I did not want to beat my head against the wall. One of the things that pops up in easy mode are these like helpful boxes. Basically these like boxes that fill in some of the gaps where, you know, knowing me, I would have actively jumped to my death. So that's a very awesome addition. It definitely makes the game more playable, especially for people who maybe, I don't know, haven't played a hard platform like this in a long time, or people that are new to the genre. Another cool addition I like, and actually this was in the first game, but like I never saw it again after the tutorial level, is like this cool tank thing. It's kind of crazy. You see it a lot more in this game, but you basically jump in and become like a beast for like a solid 30 seconds or so. It's kind of neat being able to roll through and just like obliterate everyone in your path. There is, however, one massive improvement, and that is the whole combo meter. I mean, oh man, in this game, the combo meter actually matters, and it actually fills like much more easily. So in this game, first off, it can fill different ways, through attacking, slamming people like in the first game, and through collecting the food, which in the last game was just points. Now, in this game, that makes the meter much easier to fill. But why do you want to fill it in this game, right? In the last game, all you basically got was points, or if you're lucky, an extra hit. Well, in this game, it gives you a new attack-like ability. So first off, all of your attacks are stronger. Second, when you first get the meter full, a big explosion happens, which can be detrimental if you're standing on a box over a pit, because it will blow up and you will fall to your death. However, when you jump in the air, you can do this huge, like, dive down dash slash move that is just massive damage. It makes the game way, like, more versatile. Also, though, that move can lead to your death if you are, like, near the edge of a cliff, so you definitely want to be careful while using it. Even though it does have the same really crappy jump controls, I don't know if it's just because I'd been playing a lot longer by the time I got to the second game, but like, it definitely feels a little bit more responsive. I'd like to think that maybe somehow the directional inputs were just like tweaked for this game, but like I said, it might just be the fact that I had been playing it a whole lot at this point. But just in general, this game feels better to play and a lot tighter, in my opinion. Another thing I will note, I got a lot farther quicker in this game, only because the difficulty spike, which is still there, is not nearly as brutal. I mean, in the last game, I swear, it's like you go from easy mode to 11 in a second. In this mode, it's definitely a traditional gradual ramp up, which is definitely a breath of fresh air. I prefer this much more than the first game. Now, I didn't touch on this much in the first game, but this applies to both. I love the boss battles. I mean, in the last part, I kind of just said that the whole point of the boss battles is you jump on them to break their guard and then attack them. That makes it seem pretty easy. But, there's more to it than that. The whole thing is each boss has a pattern. Think classic Mega Man. And basically, once you figure out these patterns, yes, the boss fight is very easy. But getting to that point is the challenge, right? So, kind of like I said before, they give you a ton of lives, and there is a definite reason for it. In this game, especially with the boss fights, this game series rather, it's going through and learning those patterns. And when you do beat the boss, that final run is going to be very quick, don't get me wrong. But it's very, like, cathartic, because you've gone through this typically pretty challenging level, and then you've gotten stomped by the boss a few times while you're learning the moves, but then, like, you get that perfect run, and it just feels amazing. All in all, though, like I said, with this collection, you get both games, which is pretty awesome. I will say the first one is, like, way harder than the second, so if you're, like, gonna play them in an order based on difficulty, since plot really doesn't matter, it's like you almost want to do 2 first and then 1, because you'll have your skills sharpened. But on the other hand, you're going to lose out on some moves, so I don't know. If I was to pick one or the other, I definitely prefer 2 over 1, but on the whole, they both are really fun, really challenging, and like I keep saying, they have that really awesome PS1 platforming vibe. If you've been wanting to scratch that itch, this is definitely a collection you want to check out. So like I said, these games definitely hit me with that kind of PS1 nostalgia, which really makes sense since they were on the PSP, but it really scratched that cool action platformer itch. Like I said in the review, I don't know much about the Disgaea series, but these games standalone are very fun, albeit very weird. Like I said, there's a collector's edition on their website that's pretty cool, comes with some neat goodies, and the game comes out October 13th. So, hey, let me know in the comments below if this seems like something you want to check out, and thanks again, NIS, for hooking me up with a code to review this thing. And that's going to do it for us today, guys. Hey, once again, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy watching reviews and unboxings and all sorts of other stuff, please stick around, subscribe if you haven't, give me a thumbs up or thumbs down if you feel any kind of way, of course, comment down below, and hey, as always, take it easy.